Morning, guys. Welcome to our trading room. For my YouTube viewers, my apologies for not posting last week, but last week we had a marathon trading session. We actually kept the trading room open almost all the time. I would say we had on an average 7 to 10 sessions a day, which was good. This week we will repeat that, so we will probably do it about 5 sessions a day. So the poll was out for you guys. I hope all of you actually, if you haven't seen the poll as yet, please get there, click the time, the hours you can be in the room because we will take the clusters. We will do the New York, the London session. We will do the Asian session, but we need to choose 2 more spots where we will do them, right? So if you put the hours you can be in the room, I will see where more people are, where the clusters are, and we will create 2 sessions in that time. Those are going to be 5 recorded time that you can come and I will be there, but the room would be open until the end of this month. So for the installment traders, you get a peek into what the trading room looks like. That's what we do. We can come in anytime and we can trade. From the first, the next month we'll go back to normal. You will only have access to the London and New York session. If you want access to this, where you can see how we trade, you see how we take trades, you see how we manage the trades, you see what happens, the process all day, you can become a full-time trader. Now, I know you're in the process of becoming a full-time trader. You can either, make that a little faster or, well, try your best to make some money and, join as quick as possible. So for the YouTube viewers, my apologies again. We will post this one, so you will be watching this recording. If you would like to join us and you would like to see what we do in the trading room and what we do in our group in general, send me a Skype message. The Skype is in the disclaimer at the bottom, the description. The very top of the description is my Skype. Only on Skype you can send me a message. Only there you'll get an answer from me because I do not use all other social medias for this. So you send me a Skype message, I'll give you the details of how you can join. You could either join as a full-time member of the group or you can join as an installment member, which means that you pay in parts until you complete the payment. It's a single payment for a lifetime, which means there are traders with me who are here for 4, 5, 6 years and more probably who have made a single payment. And well, you can make your decision. If they're here for that amount of time, there's probably something to it. They're probably, getting some value if they're here still. And we have had traders who have been here for 2, 3 years, and then you start seeing their success. And some of them have made really amazing success. The success is different, it's varied for everybody. Some of them are super astonishing. Some of them are moderate, and most people are still struggling, but in time they will get there. What we've proven in this room is that the method works. That is proven. That's already proven. I'm not out here trying to prove that to anybody that wave analysis works. It's up to you whether you want to take advantage of it. Now, what I can't promise anybody, and I've never promised this to anyone, is I can't make you a successful trader because that's not up to me. That's up to you to become a successful trader. We can show you how the method works. We can teach you. We can let you understand the depth of wave analysis, what it actually is, and why it works. And then it's up to you to have the discipline to implement it, to follow all the rules of trade management, money management, and everything else. And if you do that, success is guaranteed, right? So I'm not here to make you successful. I'm here to guide you to the process of becoming successful. Anybody who promised you that they'll make you successful, well, take it with a grain of salt. You're probably not going to get it from them. They can't make you successful. That's not a thing that is possible. Especially the ones who said you learn this in 15 minutes and you're gonna be rich. Yeah, good luck to that, right? Because like I said, there are traders who are very, very successful in this group, but they've been with me for 5 years. Their success probably started some 3 years ago. So it took them like 2 years to actually get to that stage. And these are traders with experience. They didn't join me as new traders. They joined me with experience. But was it worth the wait? Well, ask the people in the group, they'll tell you. It's worth it. If you really want to become a successful trader, if trading is the thing you want to use to make a lot of money and help, then you need to learn it. The problem with most traders is they believe you can just jump in, learn a strategy for 15 minutes, and you'll be a millionaire. Well, if that was so, we probably wouldn't have anybody driving taxis, right? If you could learn a strategy for 15 minutes and be a millionaire, there would be no taxi for you to go anywhere. There probably wouldn't be anybody driving the bus or the metro or cleaning your place. You probably wouldn't get a cleaner because they will take 15 minutes to learn a strategy and be a millionaire, which means it's difficult. It's not easy. Is it doable? Yes. Can you do it? Well, that's a question. You'll have to give it a try. Has anybody done it in the group? Absolutely. In my group, we have enough proof of that. A lot of it. If you want to see some bare proof of it, just go Google wave analysis. And you're going to see like 1,000 gurus pop up with wave analysis. Those 1,000 gurus learned it from me because I was the one who created wave analysis. Now, are all those people successful? I doubt it. Can they teach you wave analysis? To some extent, they can because they learned it from me. So to some extent, they will be able to teach you something. Well, it's up to you where you want to learn it from, right? If you want to choose to learn it there, I'm okay with that. When you pick up whatever you can there and you want to learn more, you'll eventually come to the source. So with that said, just send me a Skype message if you really want to learn, because we are out here to train people to be successful traders. Let's start. Now, I want to start with the daily and the dollar index because I've shown you this before. I mean, if you follow any of my webinars in the past 6 months or so, we have done this like years ahead of time that is happening. And this is why you know wave analysis works, because this pattern you see here was not here yesterday. I can tell you when this pattern was created. When this move hit the top and started to come back, this entire structure here was created. That it's going to come tag this low, it's going to go back, tag the top, and then it's going to start to come down. And there's a very high probability it might end up here. Now, if you doubt that, take a snapshot of it and keep it. 5 years from now, call me. And then you will see how it works. So what we're looking at here is a consolidation. This is the phase of consolidation. And the consolidation, if you take this as the first move, the consolidation is happening in the lower half of that move. Every time you have a consolidation in the lower half of the move, the probabilities is going to go down. Now, it's a consolidation that is incomplete. And by that, I mean, we don't know whether this consolidation end up at the top of this impulse. So if this goes here, I'm expecting it to break it. It could start the drop. That's one option. The second option is consolidate again and then go one more up. And if that happens, this consolidation will come back here, but it will only tag this low and then go back up here. Here's a good example of that. See this one here? It didn't consolidate at the bottom half of this move. It actually went back to the top of the move. See that? And the minute we saw that, we knew that it was going to come here and then it was going to go back up. I'm showing you exactly the same thing. If this happens and it comes here, it's going to come here and then it's going to go back up again. See? Pretty easy, right? Here's another example. This is the move. It went to the top of the move, come back to the bottom, went up again. I can do this all day and it will work. I can also do it on any given time frame and it will work. Now, there's an 80% chance of us identifying the pattern accurately. Doesn't mean that the pattern doesn't work. It means that since we are doing forecast and there are parts to it that might not work out the way you expect it to go, since you're forecasting and you have to be a forecaster if you're trading. I actually saw this not too long from a broker, and that was amazing because I went to a broker, exhibition, and then all of them had me, and then I saw one of them popped up. They said, and this is from the broker analyst that they have. We don't do forecast. They literally said, we don't do forecast. We do what, trading or something like that. Well, here's the thing about trading. You have to be a forecaster. I don't know why very experienced traders and very experienced gurus tend to tell people we don't do forecasts. We use methods and we trade this. The idea that you're buying something or you're selling something, you've just made a forecast. The mere fact that you say, I like to sell this, is because you have a belief system that is going to go down, or you really, really need to get rid of it, right? That's anything you're selling is because you believe it's going to lose value or because you really don't need it. There are two reasons, right? And since we're traders, we're trying to make money. So if we sell, we believe it's going to lose value. If we buy, we believe it's going to gain value. And by doing that, you're automatically making a forecast. So anybody who tells you, hey, I don't make forecasts, I make trades, or I do this, literally has no idea what he is doing. And if he doesn't have any idea what he's doing, I don't know how he's going to make you understand what he's doing, right? Because that seems like an impossible task if you yourself don't know that you're actually making forecast. So we make forecasts because that is what we're going to trade. You make the forecast and then you try to use a strategy to go, right? You don't just because you forecast it, you buy. You have to wait for setups. You have a strategy that says, well, okay, if it does this and it seems like it will be doing what we want, this is what we will do. You also have to have an exit strategy, how you're going to exit it. And that's what calls trade management. Now, I'm going to let you into a secret that I've learned in my entire time of thing. There's only one reason, and there's one single reason why all traders lose. They don't know how to close a trade. That's the only reason traders lose money, because they can't close a trade. Not they can't open a trade or they can't make winning trades. They don't know how to close a trade. Now, that seems like something that if you're listening to this for the first time and you're hearing me for the first time, you say, this guy's crazy. What do you mean they can't close a trade? Like, you can close a trade anytime you want, right? That's a realistic thing. You can close a trade anytime you want. In reality, traders can't do that, especially when the trade is going against them. When they're in a losing trade, that's when the headaches start. And that is what differentiates you from a professional trader to somebody who's just trying his luck on trading. Is what do you do with that trade when it's not going your way? When you click a trade and it goes your way, bingo, you make money. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to think about it. You just book some profit and you're happy. What happens when it doesn't go in your way? And this is why traders lose, because you see traders making 90% winning trades and then they lost the account. They only need 2 bad trades or 4 bad trades to lose the account. And that is the number one reason any one of you, if you've lost your account, you need to go back and look at it and see how many trades was it that make you lose that account. And I guarantee you it's going to be less than 10% of all your trades. So 90% of your trades were really good trades. They were trades that made money. You probably lost very small or all, but you lost the entire account and just a couple bad trades. That's because you couldn't close them. You don't know how to close them. And I've learned that in all the accounts that I've looked at, and I've looked at, I don't know, hundreds of accounts, if not thousands of accounts, from my traders and from people who are not even in my. And the one thing that I see consistently why they lose is because they cannot close the trade when it's going against them. They have no idea. And the reason they have no idea is because they have no idea what the chart is going to do next. They can't forecast. They don't know. They don't have even the slightest idea of what is likely going to happen next. Now, if you have that idea, then great. You have an advantage that when it's not going your way, at least you can see that it's going to continue to not go your way, or it could actually come back. And this is what we do. Wave analysis is about telling you, like, okay, that trade is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Get the hell out of it. Or don't worry, there's a chance it's going to come back your way and you're going to move your stops. You're going to put the stop and you're going to move the stop lower until you get it to break even. Now, that sounds pretty easy. Implementing that is what is the problem. So I'm showing you this. I'm telling you it's going to go there. Now, let's go to the 4-hour and see what it looks like. So the 4-hour, we're going up. But this thing never goes in a straight line, right? Remember, it's called wave analysis. You see all these pullback when it was coming down. This was going down, and we knew it was going to go down, but there's a lot of pullback. So if you look at the bottom here, from here to there, we've never had any of these big pullback. So there's a very, very good chance that maybe this entire week will be going down. We'll be putting back. So we looked at it this morning and we broke the top and we said, okay, be careful. You're in a channel and these channels tend to break down. Now, I'm not expecting them to come here. I'm expecting most likely, if this is the start of the correction, we'll probably have a deep correction here. Now, that's the forecast. That's what you're assuming could happen. That doesn't necessarily have to happen. This thing might just make a flag and continue to go, and we will buy it. We will buy it. Because if it doesn't show me that it's making, if this thing stop here and do this, that would be a buy setup. If it makes a flag right now, I'll sell it. So if I get a flag on this thing right now, right here, and I don't even need to get a 1-hour flag, all I need is a 50 minutes flag, we will sell it. We're already looking for that. Makes a flag, I'll sell it. First, it will probably do something like this. This is very sharp. That's an impulse. That's a top. It broke the top. That could be the top of the move. So it will make either a much deeper correction, or it's gonna just come back like this and continue to go up. It will still go up, but we might be stuck here for the whole week if this starts the deeper correction we're expecting. So what do I do? What do I tell you for the week is going to be trade on the dollar index? Probably both sides up and down, depending on what happens next. So if we get a flag here, we're selling, and some of my traders might be in that already, but if you miss that smaller one, wait for one like this and go for the sell. Something like this will work, something like this will work. If you get this, that would be amazing. If it does that right now, that would be super, but a smaller version of that will work. Something like this will work. We'll be selling. Now, I'm pretty sure we will get a flag for the sell. So the first trade we're going to get here is most likely going to be a sell. If it starts to correct and the correction goes back to the top, well, then that's the only case where we wait for this to come back here, and then we go for the buy. But I truly believe the first one is going to be the sell. Well, that's just a belief system because that's my experience telling me what's going to happen. It's not happening as yet. And until that happens, you don't have a trade. You're in the buy already on the euro, right, Ali? Good job. So we're going to look at this now. Silver. Silver is consolidating. Silver is at the top of a big daily structure here. I think if you were following me 2 weeks ago, you should have seen this in my chart, and you would have seen us saying it's coming to break this top. And when it break that top, it's not dropping. I don't think it's coming down as an impulse. I think this is trying to make a deeper pullback. So there's a chance it could make a new high and break out of this structure. That is possible. So when you go into 4 hour, you can see it's more like a consolidation. You go into 1 hour, you have something like, okay, we're getting a flat in the middle. That's great, which means the probability of this coming down to the bottom here makes sense, breaking this low, and then we'll see how far it goes and how fast it goes. Because right now, this looks like a consolidation. I don't think it's going to go very far. I don't think it's going to go very fast. We'll see. Maybe this pattern is not even not correct. There's a chance we're actually looking at something that will form here. Now, if you're looking at my webinar for the first time, you would say, what the hell did you just do? You just changed the pattern. And well, if you're pretty naive, then okay, take it that way. Now, if you want to learn wave analysis and you're serious, you should understand that these patterns do change because we don't know. The idea is you're not saying, hey, this is the pattern and that's it. It has to be that. The chart is not making a pattern for you. That's not what is happening in here. It's not making flats and triangles and whatever else you can imagine in your head. Nobody cares about that. The chart is not doing that. The idea is for you to identify at any given point in the chart. Is there a known pattern? Is there something you've seen before and you know how that thing behaves? So you're going to see the same thing here and know how it behaves. So because you're forecasting and the chart keeps moving up and down, you would see many patterns. Now, they all do behave properly. Like we saw this and, we were like, okay, this looks too sharp. And if it goes back up like this, that would be a sell setup. You notice there was a sell here and that was okay. We sold it. The worst case is you got break even in that trade, but if you're lucky, you pull some profit out of it. Right? So it will still go up. It will still behave the way you want. But then as you get more information, that pattern could change into a much bigger pattern. That will be what you saw become part of a much bigger pattern. And I could do it very quick for you here. There's a good chance it could come here. It will probably drop again like this, come back up like this, and then drop like this, and we would see this. Now, if you're watching me, you would want to know what the hell is he just doing? What the hell did he just do? Well, that is a known pattern to us. You don't know it, but we know it. We have seen that pattern like a million times. And that is why before we get this and we get this, we will first go with this one as a possibility. And if that changes, then you start to understand that it's becoming a more complex pattern. Good for you. You're learning something. And now you will learn how to trade. So can we buy this to the upside? Well, depending on your skill levels, there might be a buy setup there. If I get a flag here, if this turns out like this one here, right? See that flag there? If this turns out to make a flag here, well, yes, this would be a buy. And if I get a buy there, I'm coming to retest this top. And that's all. Because from there, I probably will get this, and then get this, and then get this, and then drop. Now, that is only one possibility. There are more possibilities. We don't have the time to go through all of them here now. And each one of those trades will give us a setup in the direction we're looking for. If it doesn't, then you will relook at it and say, okay, well, this is another possibility. Well, if this happens, then what am I looking for? What setups am I looking for the trade? So let's go with the next option. Let's say it's going down. Let's say this one is going to drop to the bottom here. Right? This is the flat. That is the flat. We got it correct. And this is going to drop. Well, I want to see this come here and I want to see a flag here. And then I'll say, you know what? Let's take this to retest this low and see what happens. What is the worst case is going to happen? It's going to just come here and try to go back up. this would become a bigger consolidation. For me, that's okay. I'll get out of that trade for positive. See? So I'll leave this open. Take out all of this, not to confuse you too much. I'll leave this one here, although this is incorrect. We need to break the top to put it, so I'm going to put this one. This one is correct. And this one is correct. That's the correct way to put the two lines. And now we'll wait to see what setup we get. Gold. Okay. So gold is going back to the top. We were expecting this to do 1, 2, 3 and drop. It's going back to the top. Not a problem. You're just getting a more complex pattern. This still is the impulse. And that has not changed. So if this goes back to the top here, it can come back here, repeat this one as a flat. See this one? Repeat this and go back up to the top there and then come here. If that happens, the higher it comes into this, the higher, if this has to go from here to here, then the probabilities will continue to go up. Now, gold can go up while dollar indexes go up. It can come down when dollar index. If you were paying attention to this chart last week, you would see that both gold and the dollar index were going up. Right? They're both doing exactly that, and nothing is wrong with that. The idea is gold is going up means gold is gaining value, regardless of what the dollar is doing, gaining value or losing value. Gold is gaining value. Right? So gold just became more expensive. Right? If the dollar is losing value, it doesn't matter. If the dollar is gaining value, it doesn't matter. In relationship to the dollar, gold was getting more expensive. Faster than, even if the dollar is gaining value, gold was gaining value faster than that. So that is why gold chart is moving up with the dollar chart. Now, let's see what's happening. I think this is a nice flat forming here. It could also be the start of a very, very big drop. We don't know that. This is an all-time top. We don't know that as yet because this pattern is way back at the top. If it was at the bottom here, we'll almost be sure it's going to drop. But now that it's back at the top, it's a possible flat that will just come here and then go back up. There will be this drop. This drop will happen sometime this week. But from that point, it's either it's going to drop totally or it could stop here and go back up. That will be by the end of the week. We'll see that. Euro. Okay, good. So euro is going back up. The euro kind of drop here. It's going back up. Be careful. This might just be part of a consolidation here. If they're going up totally, I don't think euro is going up a lot because it could be a bigger consolidation forming here because there's a lot of downside in it. Right? So that could be a bigger consolidation. There's a lot of downside still here. I don't think we're retesting that top. It's possible. It is possible that it can go retest that top because we're in this correction here. And this can go back to the top as many times as this one. But because we were so close to this top and this move is pretty sharp down, I can expect a deeper correction here. It's normal. You can probably get this to make a much deeper correction before you drop. Right? So I don't think it's trying to go up. I think it's starting a deeper correction, but we can trade it if we get setups. The one you should definitely be the buy-in is this one. Right? We're in this channel right now. And we're going to the top of the channel. The chances are we might even break out of this channel. Eventually they do, right? When you get channels like that. So a buy setup here is a good idea. If you're not in as yet, wait for a flag and then we'll take the buy. This is a must buy. So as soon as we get a flag here, we just need a small flag, not a big one. Maybe something like this would work. But you prefer if it is like this. You don't want a running flat. You want a regular flat, a small regular one, and then go for this trade. If we're lucky, they break out. If not, it's coming back to the bottom of the channel. But this trade is the one we'll go for first. Aussie. Aussie also coming up. We already did these this morning. So that drop on Friday worked. It went a little deeper. We're coming back for this, or we're coming back to break out of this channel totally. So the Pong has a very nice channel. Aussie has a very nice channel. I think Swiss has a channel at the top. Quite a few of the pairs have these channels. These channels are showing you that momentum is dying out to the bottom. See the divergence there? So at some point, we will either get a reversal or a deep correction. Since the bigger chart is not showing us reversal, our forecast is to the downside, not a reversal forecast. I think we're coming here. So this would most likely just be a deeper correction. Right? It could be deep, it could be very long, which means it could stay here for, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks if possible, and then drop. Here is this correction here, right? This is the move we're making. That drop, that correction, this drop. So we're literally coming to break this low. If this correction proves what we think it is, it could be a very long, drawn out, very big correction, and then we'll see where it goes, right? So we're still in the channel until we break out of it. So we will trade it as if it's still part of this channel, right? And then we'll see what happens. It did came out, just a small out there. That doesn't mean anything much. Wait for a flag buy. Some of you should be in the buy already. With those who are in the Asian session, I hope you managed this. This give us a few candles here. I think in the morning we had two of them on one of the charts we're looking at, but then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could probably put an entry out of there and see if it goes. If you're in already, great. This is a possible running flat. If you want to put another entry out of here, okay, you got it. Right? You were there this morning. Well done. You can actually look for a small running flat. I even got it to great. So you can put it. You can treat this as a small running flat. We still have more to go, right? We're going for this one. At least for that one. That's the first part, right? If that takes off, then we will just put this one with the one in front here. We had a possible running flat here, and then we go. So this buy is a good one. It's still a buy. If it consolidate here more, that would even be much better for us. If it makes a bigger one here, this would be a pretty one good to go with. And let's hope that goes, right? So I think it's a good trade. Let's go to New Zealand, has the same thing. We were looking for a flag. New Zealand, you could probably go with this one, but if you want, you might. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. If it doesn't go in two more candles, close re-enter. You know the rule, right? Close re-enter. That sell was good on Friday, right? Close re-enter. There's a flag forming here. Let's see. The same thing, very same channel we have here in the, compared to the 1 hour, sorry. Same kind of type of channel we have here in the 1 hour, and it's at the bottom. So if it goes back to the top of the channel, I'm still open to being a running flat with this because the bigger picture is downside. The bigger picture of all of these is still downside, right? Just like the dollar index is upside. This one is coming to break this low, but all of these have pullback, right? So why wouldn't we get a pullback here? I mean, this is the whole move with no pullback in it. I mean, deep pullback, right? The move we're trying to make is actually this one to the downside. So look at the pullback here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get one of these today, right? So a pullback is definitely coming. You have to expect it. And getting it from the bottom for that is a great thing. Let's see if we get a flag here in the 15 minutes and take the trade. Right, so it's kind of making a flag already. Give it a few more candles. You can put an entry right now if you want to be aggressive and manage that one as it goes, right? So this will be buy, this will be buy. These are buy setups. This is an active buy. This should be an active buy. Put an entry order in for the buy. Pound was a buy setup. You can put it. I'll put this setup. I don't know if you have an active buy in it. Euro will take that out for now. That was a bigger picture for downside. We'll take that out. CAD is dropping. We should have probably get aggressive and take that one, but I was too aggressive. I said wait for it to drop out of the possible running flat and make a bigger one. Well, we're doing that now. So one out of two things. Either this is a running flat and it goes back up, and it goes back up and then drop. It will still eventually come down. CAD, by the way, is also going up. I've shown this chart before some weeks ago. If you keep watching all my webinars, you would see this forecast. So this is pretty easy. This is not a complex one. This is pretty simple. This forecast was here for a long time. Once it started getting very much like this, we thought it will come back to the top, come back here and go. Here's the thing. It could still be that this is the impulse, right? It's a rare case where the impulse looks like this. I call it the squeeze, right? When it starts a squeeze and it works its way up like that all the time, break the top and then drop, right? If the drop is going to happen, this is what we look for. So when it gets to the top here, it may or may not break out of these top. If it gets to the top here and start to drop, we start selling immediately. If it breaks out and start to drop, we'll definitely sell and hold on to some long-term trades. So now it's going to the top, but we are looking for a sell setup because we trade short-term trade, right? We trade in the 15 minutes, and there's a chance that this running flat is incomplete. Right, there are two we're looking for. First, this one as a possible running flat. Look for that flag, go for this one. And if it keeps going, make another correction and drop, we're going for this one. That is this correction and drop. We're going for this one, right? There's a running flat. And then upside. This might be standalone, or it could go with this one. There's a possibility for that. We looked at that before already. So either the short one or the big one. In any case, we're looking for a sell setup here now. Go into 15, let it consolidate, make a flag, go for the sell. Simple. Right, it's not a flag, is it? It's just one small move up, but let it consolidate somewhat here. If it gives a flag, it's a sell setup, go for it. So we look for a sell setup here. Swiss. Okay, it's coming down already. No magic this morning. There's no sell setup. We looked at it this morning. There wasn't any sell setup. I don't think there is. But don't worry, when it comes here, we'll start to look for the buy. If it breaks out of this structure, it will still be amazing. It means it's going to come back as a deeper correction. But right now, we're looking for more buy setup on the Swiss, right? Because this would be a wonderful running flat. And that means we can take off to the upside. So keep your eyes on the Swiss and all the Swiss pairs, because you notice all of them have deep corrections. This is the only one could be just come here and start a very sharp impulse to the upside. And I mean a very sharp impulse. If there's any Swiss news this week, we will definitely trade it. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if this takes off like a rocket, because I've seen this before where it went really, really slow, do this, and then just straight up. So let's see if we get that, right? With some news event or anything, they can just move it without anything, right? So we'll see. If it's dropped through this structure, right? If it comes through this structure like this and consolidate, well, then we would expect a deeper correction. It can retest this low and probably test this one, because remember we had this big flat here, right? So as a 1, 2, 3, if it breaks out of this structure, we'll assume that we're coming back to the low before we go. So keep your eyes on the structure as it comes. If you don't get the sell, if you get a sell, take it, which means if you get a flag right now, take it. Only now you have to get a flag. Any lower, don't take it. So if it makes a flag here, now we sell it to this low, put it to break even and see if it breaks out. If it stop reverse, correct, take off the trade, look for the buy. Right, so we're gonna do 5 sessions a day this week until Thursday, so we wouldn't miss it. By the way, just so you know, this afternoon for the New York session, I would be off. I should have mentioned that at the very start of the thing. I would be off, but from tomorrow, 5 sessions. We would actually have the 5 sessions program with the poll. Right, so if you haven't seen the poll, go get the poll, click the hours you can be in the room so we can set those 5 sessions. And you can be in the room anytime. Yen? Yep, it did go, right? And it looks like it's going to continue to go. This one doesn't seem downside because it could go, but it's going really slow. So that looks like a flag for one more up. If you get the buy, take it. Right? This was on Friday. If you get the buy there, take it, because this doesn't have to come back until it breaks the stop, right? There's no reason. The yen can continue to go on its own. We're expecting it to come and break this stop, and then we'll see what happens, because it's a very nice running flat. Let it break that up, and then we'll see. So yen has more upside. Go back to the 1 hour. That flag looks good, at least for now. If it breaks out, you won the trade. If it becomes more complex, we'll see. But right now, it's a good buy setup. Right? If it drop more and consolidate, then we'll consider. Oil entry already. Okay, so we're gonna skip all of this. By the way, if you're watching me on YouTube and you want to see all of this stuff, we do all of this. Join the trading room. Send me a Skype message and you'll get access to all of that. Let's go look at oil. Natural gas. Let me do this first. Natural gas. Sell setup. The buy was good. Sell setup. By the way, good sell setup. It actually is here, but they're consolidating. So use this. Let this go back up. And it's a good sell setup. Put the entry under the low. Go for it. Right? That's a good one. And if they break through this, which I guess can happen, right? If you fall through that, you're going to fall straight through this. So we're retesting this low. What's the bigger picture? Let's see. I like that sell setup a lot. Oh, yeah, that can drop. It can drop and come all the way to this bottom. Let's see the 4 hours. Okay, wait a second. I'm expecting it to go back to the top, but if it doesn't go to the top, no problem. We will still be in this. Right, we'll be in this here. Can it come back and retest this low? Can it come back and retest this low? If that happens, we'll go with this. We'll go with that pattern. Right, we'll go with 1, 2, 3. We'll go with this, sorry. Let it come back here and then go back up. It could be more complex than that. Let it go back to the 1 hour. Let me see, because this wasn't very clear to us. Take it, even if it retests this low and then go. I like it. Let's see how far it drop and then we'll decide. You can keep it under the low, so if it goes back, it wouldn't tag you. If they go back up from here, it wouldn't tag you. Keep it under the low. Very likely it's going to break through the structure. Oil. Okay, you get a buy setup here with caution. It did come back pretty low, but you can take it to see if it's just a correction. Like this one, see this one corrected pretty high. Right, you had this. And we didn't take that because it came back to the bottom, but then it went pretty high. So this one is not way at the bottom as yet. So this one is better. It could go high, or it could just break that up to come back. I think it will go pretty high. It could also be the start of the upside reversal. So yes, this could be a good buy. Keep your eyes on that. US 30. Okay, you're getting a buy setup here. This looks like a buy setup. This was a buy setup. It didn't go far. Keep your eyes on this. I hope this one goes. So this whole structure would be, we can probably put this one like this now. You can make that argument for that flat. Makes sense to me. What's the bigger picture? Oh, it's coming down. I think we have a big move to go down. That is this one here, right? 1, 2, 3. So this could be the correction right now. See that correction there? This could be the correction and then the drop. Makes sense. Go for it. I like the idea of the buy because it could be a deeper correction. Right now that you drop here, you don't have any divergence. So see how far that goes. And then you could get, it will just be a correction for more downside. But it's a good trade. If it stays there, it's a good trade. This would be a buy setup. This would be a buy setup. And what is natural gas? I think a buy setup or a sell. Natural gas is sell setup. Dow Jones Industrial, let's say DJI. Okay, this dropped quite a lot, so take that out. It's no longer doing that. We'll take off the expanding flat. The drop is going much more than expected, and that means the expanding flat is not what we think it is. We'll probably have to use this as the expanding flat here. That's a top. Probably find something else with this if possible. That's a top. This is coming down. Any flag here, sell. We might not retest the top. Wait for more of a flag or a correction and sell. It's a deeper downside. That would be, we'll be looking for this one. This one here. But there's a lot of them, right? Remember, we had these two together. So the possibilities you're doing this one here now. And then go back up. So look for sell setups, and that means you look for sell setup on the S&P 500. Nope, S&P 500 is actually going back up. This did drop, so you get 1, 2, 3. We got this one. Take this off. We get this flat 1, 2, 3, and it's going back up. So they'll probably retest the top. There's a buy setup here. You can buy this. It's going to break the top, right? This is likely going to break this top because I'm going to look at this as a running flat. So this one could break the top. And since we're using this as a 1, 2, 3, it makes sense that they go back up. Now, when it breaks the top, get it to positive and see how far it goes. Because remember, the bigger picture will still be downside when it breaks the top. And NASDAQ, yep, this one also 1, 2. This was the easy one, right? This one was a classical one. When it breaks the low, look for your buy setup. So now it's going to break the top, and you have to be careful. The same thing, you have a buy setup here, a very small flag, but it's very close to the top, right? Even if you go with this as a running flat, it's very close to the top. If not, it could go there, come back here, make a flat, and then go. And I think this is, what is that top we're trying to break there? That line has to be some top. Yeah, that top. So we're not going to break it, but we're coming very close to it. So once we get there, it's going to come down back. There are two possibilities, this one and this one. Both of those you'll have to play with. So if you're buying anything here, you have to buy it with a lot of caution. Because this drop is coming. Right? That is absolutely coming. The question is when. Right? There's no question of if that is coming. Just be careful because this is extremely sharp. This is the correction. We still have this piece to possible come first and then go. So there is a buy setup there. You had a flat. It actually broke out. We had this flat. I'll make the whole flat now. We were looking at the middle. This is the bigger flat. That was a small one in the middle. You've got this. We can take these out now. The idea was to come and break that low. And this was the top of that flat. So we take out the top as well. We already broke the top. So there's no question of whether it's going to break the top. The question is how far this goes before it drops. Now, it doesn't have to break this top. There's no need to do that. It can do it, but that's not a requirement. So be very careful there. We'll see how that goes. There's a lot of sharp pullback like this one, relatively sharp, that we haven't completed. So when it breaks the top, look for sell setups. Okay, all of these we'll do later. And let's go Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at a very, very interesting spot right now. So we're at the top of the daily correction. Right? I think I showed this before. So this is the daily correction. That will eventually break out. I think you can see the forecast that they eventually break out. Now, I was expecting this to take off, and we had a buy set up in it here, very nice. On the shorter term, we had a lot of buy and sells. Actually, they sold it, they buy, and then you got this flat here. And then this is relatively sharp. And then we got an up movement, but we're getting another flat here, which is very, very interesting. Because if this flat is going to come down here first, but if it comes here and make a flat and breakout, we're probably going to take off. You want to get into that buy. So you want it to first come and break this low here and then try to get a buy setup to go in the 15. So we'll go in the 15 minutes, find a buy setup, and if that takes off, it could break out. Now, what you're going to watch also is the sell, because if it comes and it drops to this here, we will end up with a flat here, which could go back up to the top, but this will come back all the way to the bottom before it goes. Right? It's going to retest this low before it goes, if that happens. If this comes here and go back up, we're definitely going to retest the low before we go. So let's go look at this and see what the setup is. This morning, we were looking for a sell setup. Yep, that didn't go anywhere. Well, it didn't happen. It just went up back again. So you're in this up move, and we're waiting for a drop. See if it comes down, right? Because this is very sharp. This is very sharp. This is very sharp. This is the first one that has a lot of consolidation in it. So we kind of come back to the top here. Break the top or not, that's irrelevant, because this is going to come here. And there's a good chance it will go back up. And there's a good chance it comes back up. If you get this, the chances are this is going to take off. So every time it comes back to this low and give you a buy setup, take it. It goes to the top, come back, give you a buy setup, take it. The sells, well, if you get it, you take it. If you don't, you just let it drop. So you want it to drop here, give you a sell setup and go. You can use the last impulse if you know how to manage that trade. You can use the last impulse. Let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum is going to drop. This is going up slowly, but the bigger picture is downside, and I don't think that has changed. Right? Nothing here has changed for downside. Just classical. I can see these two as a flat. Makes sense to me. Remember when it was here? This forecast was before all of this happened, when we had this. So we were like, let it go back to the top here, come down here, go back up there. Well, it went a little, not exactly the way you want, and it went there and it came down back. So we've got this out of the way. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves planned before any of those happened. When it was starting to go back up, right? We have those 5 moves planned. So we have got 1 already. We can take that out. That's 20% accuracy. If this goes up here, that will get 2. And I think it's very much likely going up, right? You can see that you're kind of getting a flag here. And that normally goes up. So that would be 2. And when it comes there, it would prove this flat. If it gets there, it will prove this flat. And that means this will come back down. Now, if it drops here, then it proves I'm wrong about this flat. We'll go with this one, the one we had, but we took it off. And when it breaks this low, it will go back up and go down. So only these two we will get. We will not get this one, and we will not get the other one. So I think the 5 is going to work, because I can see this possibly trying to go up there. So you can look for buy setups. Let's go see if we have any buy setup. Not exactly. It looks like it's making more of a channel rather than a running flat. So somewhere, I'll ignore this one. Somewhere in here, there's a running flat forming. Maybe this one. You could either wait for a flag or put it on top of it. I think you better wait for a flag and then go with the trade to the upside. Let it prove it's actually going up. XRP. So buy setup, you've got a really nice running flat here. You know how we trade this. Entry above the top, stop under the running flat, and that's upside. So what is this doing? Let's go take a look at the 1 hour. So the 1 hour forecast we had is this one coming to break the low, right? So because we had this pattern, you had 1, 2, 3, and this dropped. It did come down, but it didn't break the low. Remember, we broke the top. We don't have to break the low, right? We broke the top here. So it doesn't have to tag break the low. It could be a running flat. And a running flat means it can stop anywhere here and go back up, right? So could it stop here and go back up? Would that be a running flat? I think that's perfect. I could go with a running flat like that. That would make a lot of sense. You have 1, 2, 3. You have 1, 2, 3. You probably see divergence here. We'll check that just now. I think we do have divergence there. Yeah, a lot of it too. And this could go up now. The move up would be this one, the equivalent of this. And if we get that, then we're probably still stuck. That could be total upside, but it might just be part of a bigger correction. See? So when it comes here, then we will know, is this making another flat for one more down? Right? You got to move down. You get a flat, you get a drop, you get a flat, you get a drop, and then you go back up for this one. Or is this the one going up for that one already, right? So is it 1, 2, 3? Is this 1, 2, 3? And this, you see, we got a big flat here in this move. So are we repeating the same big flat here, which goes back up now and break the top? So you get 1, 2, 3. You get 1, 2, 3, break the top, and then come back down. Because when you break the top, you're coming back down, right? There's no question about that. The buy here is a good idea, especially if we think that Bitcoin is going to go out. This might go out, and you have a buy setup. You have a very good buy setup here with this. So XRP looks like a buy. You can keep a little bigger stop, right? Put an entry above the top. Put an entry a little above the top here. Keep a stop under the low and see if it takes off like a rocket. Right? This was more like this for the downside. And it did break the low. Came, it broke the low, it give you divergence, it's reversing. Could it be another big correction before one more drop? Possible, but in that case, you'll get break even. So if you want to buy some XRP, this is a good time to buy. Let's go. I think that's all. We'll just stop there. You have an idea. We'll do the rest in our room. So let me just stop the recording. For my YouTube viewers, again, if you think you like what we do, if you would like to join us, you don't have to have a lot of money to join. You can join in the installment program. What that means is you're saving up your money. You're paying an installment until you make the one single payment you have. And then that's it. You're in the group for life. Right? Your call. You have to decide if you're really serious about trading. And if that is it, well, then you're in a group of amazing traders. With that said, you guys have a great week. Wish you success and keep learning, right? Trade with caution. Whether you're with us or not, trade with caution. You may as well want to show somebody this video. Might help them. So have a great week ahead of you. Thank you. Bye.